Hello everyone, welcome back to Guru TV. I am your host Jason Sutton from the Dana Rader Golf School, and I've got a special show for you today. I've got a special guest, one of my longtime students, Mr. John Eades, that plays a lot of the mini tours and is a professional golfer, and I thought it would be interesting to get his perspective on what separates some of the really good players from the average players. For those of you, I get this question all the time is, what's it take to play professionally? How good do you have to be? And then really, what's a typical kind of day or week in the life of a tour pro? So welcome to the show, John.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
We've worked together for how long now? 3 years or so?
3 or 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, so we've been going at it pretty good. John is really very close, I think, to breaking through and getting out there on the big tour. Share with the viewers today a little bit about what you've gone through with your career in the last 2 or 3 years and kind of the evolution of a tour pro.
Well, overall, it's a very the whole process has been a learning experience. I'm 26 years old, which I'm getting old, but a golfer's prime, they say, is between 27 and 32, so I feel like I'm really coming to my own from a mental game perspective, from a maturity perspective. But it's been interesting. I went to the University of Maryland. I played 4 years there and had a good career. I won 3 or 4 tournaments in college. Decided I'd give it a shot when I came out. Missed Q school 3 times now. So it's been it's a roller coaster of emotion. As you play these mini tour events, or you pay to play, but there's a decent amount of money out there these days with some sponsor help, and so there's weeks where you feel like you're ready to play on the PGA Tour, and there's weeks that you feel like you couldn't compete in the club championship in Charlotte.
Right.
So that's the challenge, is really knowing how good you are.
Right.
When you're not necessarily at the Honda Classic this week, or playing on the World Golf Championship.
Right.
That's the challenge. Knowing how good you are when you're not necessarily in contention every week or on TV every week.
Right.
So
good stuff. I think from a mechanical standpoint, I was even looking at your stats on Shot by Shot the other day. I was talking to Peter, one of the guys, the guy that runs the company, and we actually pulled your stats up, and your ball striking has improved tremendously. You're like at 13 greens in regulation, and how close is it from one shot to the next of really getting to that next level?
Well, it's a good question, and if we knew the exact answer, we would be millionaires. But I think the part that's very close to call is there's a top 10 level player in the world, and then there's about everybody else in a degree of difficulty. There's a lot of guys that have played on the PGA Tour for a lot of years that aren't any better than I am. They've gotten comfortable with playing out there.
Right.
And they've been out there, they know what it's like, and they believe they can play out there.
Right.
And that's half the battle. I have some good friends that are on the nationwide tour this year, and they've struggled a little bit early in the year, but I think once they get over the fact that they're out there now, they'll play a lot better.
Right.
You see a guy like Ricky Fowler right now, he just believes that that's where he's supposed to be playing, and he's showing it at 21 years old, which is just, if people haven't watched him, it's just phenomenal. So
self-belief is a huge thing, right? That kind of separates from knowing you should be there and then also being comfortable.
Right. Well, there's a skill set, of course.
Absolutely.
You have to have the skill set to be able to hit shots and play some very difficult holes, difficult conditions. But once you, in my opinion, when you have that skill set, Jason, it becomes self-belief. When you have that skill set that you can get to the next level, it really becomes the belief that I know that I'm good enough to get there. Now, and if I don't get there, it doesn't mean I'm a bad man, or
right.
I'm not a good golfer. It's tough. There's a lot of good golfers.
Absolutely.
But it's an exciting time for me. Getting in the range of in my mid-20s. So I'm excited about it. Hopefully I can break through this year. I've been playing well in the start of the year. You don't always get the results that you want.
Right. That's important to understand. I think it's a process, and maybe you can share with a little bit about what our goals are this year together. It may be surprising that we're not always working on mechanics, as we're really looking on how can we improve our shots around the greens, or some of the things with the mental side. Maybe share some of the goals that we've set.
Well, one of the things that I think the biggest thing is that we were talking about results, and I just came off a missed cut on the number. I missed the cut by one shot, and there were so many positives to take out of the week instead of dwelling on the fact that I missed the cut by one shot, right? And for your golfer, your amateur golfer trying to get better, I went out and played golf this Saturday with a high school friend who's about a 10 handicap, maybe a little more. He's a mid-80s shooter, and he's so tough on himself when he hits a bad shot, and he wants to know why he's not breaking 80, or his golf swing goes a little inside or whatever, and I try to convey to him how difficult it is to hit a golf ball 300 yards right down the middle. Right. It looks easy on TV because they're following the leaders that Sunday who are playing very well, but this game is very difficult, and so enjoy your good shots and enjoy the progress that you're making by practicing and getting better with your mechanics. And if you're not enjoying your good shots and your good play and the times where you succeed when it's difficult, I don't think it's worth playing this game because it's too hard.
That's a great point. I think that's something that you've improved on tremendously since we've been working together, is your attitude. Like I said, staying in the process, enjoying. If you can't enjoy the good shots, then the bad shots are going to beat you up.
Yeah.
This game can be pretty cruel sometimes.
There's no doubt about that.
So I'd love to get you out on the range. Maybe talk a little bit about what you've been working on with your golf swing. Maybe share with us a little bit about your goals and what you've been working on.
I want to go hit a few balls.
Absolutely.
And, we'll take a look.
All right, so let's go hit the range.